Hello, this is Shar from The Real Kitchen for Real People, and I'm trusting that everyone is doing well today. I'd like for you to come cook with me as I prepare to cook cinnamon rolls. And this was a request from one of the subscribers. They wanted to know how to make cinnamon rolls. Now I will use the same recipe as my dinner rolls to start out with, so I'll put the link below for the dinner rolls so you'll know how to start your dough. But in the event, I'll still go through it with you here under the cinnamon rolls. This is how I prepare my cinnamon rolls. So first of all, you will have flour, butter, you will have your yeast, the rapid yeast. We'll have 2 eggs, sugar, milk, and water is in here. I combined the two, a 1/3 cup of water and a 1/3 cup of Carnation Milk is in here. And then salt, of course. So I'm going to combine all of these, and I'll show you how I make my cinnamon rolls. So first of all, we want to start out with pouring your yeast in a bowl, large bowl. Make sure you get it all out of there. Okay. And then I want to pour my warm, it's just lukewarm water and milk into your bowl. Okay, do that. I'm going to stir that around a little bit. Just kind of activate that yeast in there. See how it's bubbling? Okay, you're waking that yeast up. And then you want to add, this is so simple to make bread or cinnamon rolls. It's the same dough recipe. And then what you're going to do is add your sugar, which is 1/3 cup of sugar. Okay. And stir that up. And now we want to add our butter. We're going to add butter, salt, and eggs to this mixture. So we're going to add our 1 cup or 1/3 cup of butter. It's soft butter. Just add it in there with the mixture. Get all your butter off of there. Okay. Alright, then we want to add to this your salt, which is a teaspoon of salt. And your eggs, which is 2 eggs. And so you want to add your 2 eggs to the bowl. And then stir that up really good together, mashing your butter in. So you just want to stir that up real good. Mix that up really good. Continue mixing that till your egg is in there, beat up really good. And I like mixing mine homemade bread or cinnamon rolls with a fork. So you can use whatever, but I just like using this fork. Okay, then what you're gonna do to this mixture is you're gonna add, you have a 3.5 cup measure of all-purpose flour, but you want to only stir in a cup at a time into your mixture. Okay, so I'm gonna stir in 1 cup, 1 level cup of flour, and then I'm gonna stir that up in there until it gets in there good. And just keep stirring until all your flour is mixed into that mixture. Then you're gonna put in your next cup of flour, which is cup number 2. And you want to measure it, have it level as well when you add it. Then you want to mix that up. I don't like to dump all my flour in at once and mix it. So this just may be a sharp way, but this is the way I fix my cinnamon rolls. Which is, it's easy, but if you know, if you follow the steps, it come out delicious. And see how it's thickening now? Okay. Make sure you get all that flour mixed in. And as you add your flour, of course, it's going to get thicker. So, just stir it up a little bit there. Okay. Now I'm going to add my 3rd cup of leveled flour to the mixture, and you'll notice that it will be a lot thicker as you stir. Okay, and what you're trying to do is get all this flour mixed in, and then you'll be able to handle your dough and get it ready for the next step. See how it's coming together here? And scrape your sides off around there. But this is an easy, simple recipe. There's no need to be alarmed by making homemade bread or homemade cinnamon rolls. It's real easy. Like I said, just follow the recipe that I'll have listed below for you. Okay, and watch the video. If you have to watch it more than once, that's good. That's fine. To get it down pat on how to make them. But see how that's thickening right there? Then that is just about enough. There's 3 cups in there. So I want to add a 1/2 cup in here just so I can handle it. Okay, I want to be able to handle it with my hands. And first I want to be sure to wash your hands before you start any kitchen project or any recipe. So I'm going to wash my hands, and then I'll add that 1/2 cup of flour to this mixture. Okay, my hands are washed again, but I wash them again right before I handle this dough. And see how it's, you just kind of added the half a little bit at a time, just so you can get ready to handle it. Okay, see how this is handling. And it's a wonderful experience to make homemade bread. It's really addicting once you start making it. You'll want to make it all the time. And see how it's coming together where you can handle it. See? So I'll put a little bit more of that half a cup. I'm not using the whole half a cup. See, I'm just using a little bit at a time, so I can handle it. Okay. And it's soft, and it's just a rewarding feeling when you're making homemade bread. I know a lot of people like to use the machines, but I always was taught to use my hands because you can actually feel how they're going to turn out. I can. You can, after you do it so many times, you'll know if it's going to be light and fluffy or tough. I've been there before where they were tough. Now this is ready. See? It's ready to rise. I'm gonna put it in another bowl, and I'm gonna butter that bowl first, and then I'll stick this in that ball in there to rise. Okay, now put a little butter in here. Just rub it around in your bowl. This is your second bowl. You need to rub it around in the bowl. Get it nice and greased. You have to use about maybe a half tablespoon or so, 2 teaspoons of butter in there. I think that's about what I used. And it'll just be good and greased. And in this bowl you will grab your dough ball. Kind of get it ready. And then what you're going to do is put this in the greased bowl. And we're going to let that rest and rise for about an hour and a half. And it needs to be in a warm place. Maybe on top of where your dryer is, or top of your refrigerator, wherever the heat is rising, or on top of your stove, but make sure the stove is not on. So we're going to do that and cover this up. You want to cover it and then put it in its warm place for the rising process. So cover it, and we'll be back. Okay, our dough has risen, and we're going to punch it down. Let all the gases out of it. Punch it down. And then you're going to put a little flour on your counter after you cleaned your counter off. And put a little flour. Spread it on there so that it won't stick as you roll your dough. Okay, so we got that out there. And now we're going to roll out our dough out of this bowl. It's ready. It smells delicious too. And then I'm going to put a little flour on my hands as well, so I'll keep that little bowl of flour handy. Okay, so I'll put the little flour on my hands and just kind of work it in that flour. A little more back there. Work my hands. And you just kneading it. And this to me is the fun part. I know a lot of people don't like it to knead. You see a lot of breads out there that you don't have to knead. But this recipe is kneading. And it's the fun part to me. I like to feel the dough. And it feels real soft. And you just massage it a little bit there. Okay, roll it in there. And like that. Okay. Then you have your little ball. Like that. Okay, and then you're going to take, I'm going to wash my hands here. Then you're going to take it and cut it with your dough cutter. And this is where I make half dinner rolls and half cinnamon rolls. So, you know, we can do whatever you want. You can make the whole thing cinnamon rolls or the whole thing dinner rolls. But since I've already showed you how to do the dinner rolls, we're going to do this half in this and make cinnamon rolls. And I'll just set this aside. This one here. Just set it aside in a different container. Until you're ready to use it. Okay? So I'm going to take this dough, put a little more flour on the counter. Okay? Work it in a little more. And we're just going to kind of push it out this way. Push it. And turn it. Push up and out. Up and out. Okay. Grab a little more dough. Flour, excuse me. And rub it in there. Push it up and out. Okay, and it'll be, you can do this with your rolling pin or your hands. If you don't have a rolling pin, don't be alarmed. You can always use your hand to do the same thing. Just push it out and up. So I'm showing you how to do this without the pin. And then I'll show you how to do it with the pen. Okay, I'll put a little more flour on there. I'm going to show you how to do it with the pen. Put a little flour on your rolling pin and then just roll it out. This kind of makes it a little bit more thinner. Okay, just roll it out until it's kind of thinned. Turn it over, and I'm going to roll it again. I'm going to put a little flour on my rolling pin, and I'm going to roll it again. So you see the shape that I'm trying to get is long. See? And you just roll it all the way out. So you have to have a pretty good area where you can roll. My area is a little tight in here. We gonna make it work. because everybody don't have a big kitchen or a big area to work with. So we're going to work with what we have. Okay, now that I have that rolled out, I take that stick of butter. Remember we had the soft butter. We're going to take that stick of butter and we're going to rub it in to our dough. You just rub it in with your hands. That's why your hands got to be, do a lot of washing hands on this. And you just rubbing that butter into your dough. And you want every area to get some of that butter. So you don't have to use the whole stick, but I'm just starting out because I don't know starting out with this whole stick of butter. I'm going to butter it down really good though on those edges. Okay, now that you have that all buttered down, and you know it's ready for your cinnamon sugar mixture now. So we're gonna put this aside, and of course I'm gonna wash my hands again. Get all that off there. And this is so fun to make. Takes a little while, but it's well worth it, believe me. Okay, then you're going to take your hands again, clean hands again, and then you're going to sprinkle your cinnamon sugar all over this. I think this is just the funnest part to me. I guess because I'm sticking my hands in the cinnamon. Just something about it. Using your hands sometime. And you want to cover that really good. Along the sides. On the edges. So we want to get all those goodies in there. And if you have some little lumps from your brown sugar, don't worry about it. It's okay. Okay, and you may use this all, or you may not use it all, but I just gave you that recipe for the measurements for this off the top, you know, in case you need more, you can mixture up more. Okay. Okay, then we're gonna, that'll work. I think that's it. Okay, once again, I'm washing my hands. Okay, and now what we're going to do now is roll and cut them and put them in this grease or spray baking dish. So I'm going to use this Pyrex dish here. I'm going to spray the bottom of it with Pam, so it'll be ready. And this will probably give me about 9 in this bowl, in this Pyrex size. So we'll see. Okay, that'll be ready. I'll sit it up here at the top. So it'll be ready. Okay, so now how you want to roll it is on the long side, not the short side. You want to roll it on this side, the long side. So you take it and you roll it and you keep rolling it. Okay, just keep rolling it from the top to the bottom. Okay, roll it. Keep rolling it. And you roll it all the way over. Till you have a long piece of dough. And it'll be like this, so you kind of tuck it right here. Kind of tuck it on the ends. Pinch them together, kind of. And just kind of make sure the bottom part is mashed on there. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is cut them and put them into my Pyrex. Let me clear this off here. So I'm going to lay that in the, get this in the, clear that off. Okay. So now I'm going to put this here. And I'm going to place my cinnamon rolls in the greased Pyrex dish. And let me show you how to cut them. This is the end. So I'll cut them about, what's that, about 2 inches. And they'll be like that. And you place that into your Pyrex dish. Just kind of pinch that back in if it's trying to come loose into your, and then you'll have it like that. And you just do that all the way until you finish. Okay, I have them all in the Pyrex dish, and I come up with 10. I had a little one. So I'm gonna let these rise for an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, and then I'll be back. While your bread is rising, your cinnamon rolls are rising, you can turn your oven on 350, so it'll be ready to stick in the oven. Okay, here are your cinnamon rolls, and they are beautifully risen, and they're ready for the oven. And you cook them about 15 to 20 minutes. You just need to watch them. And so we're going to put these in the oven, the preheated oven. Okay, now we're getting ready to make our icing, so when the cinnamon rolls come out of the oven, we will be able to put the icing on them. So first of all, you're gonna sift a half cup of powdered sugar. Just so it won't be lumpy. Okay, and then I'm going to sift also a little of this sugar cinnamon that I had left. So I'm just going to add that in there. About 3 tablespoons look like. Okay. Just sift that in there with it. Now I'm going to add a tablespoon of butter. And a tablespoon of milk. And you're going to mix that all up together till it's nice and smooth. It's a little stiff, so I'm going to add just a little more milk. Probably a teaspoon more. Okay, here's the consistency you want. Because you're going to put them on your cinnamon rolls when they're hot. See? Like that. Okay, here's the cinnamon rolls. They're finished cooking and they look wonderful. So what I'm going to do, if you want to, you don't have to put pecans on them, but you can sprinkle pecans over it now. It's probably about a half a cup. And if you don't want pecans on them, you don't have to put it on them. Put them. So we want to put pecans on there. And then you drizzle your glaze on the top of that. I think I'm going to add a little bit more milk. Okay. Just drizzle that over there. Over the top of your cinnamon rolls. I don't really like a lot of icing on there, but the icing is up to you. If you want a lot of icing on your cinnamon rolls, this is your thing to do. You can put as much as you want, if you want that much. Okay. And you could really do whatever you like with cinnamon rolls. Some people add dry cranberries to it, chocolate chips. So you can just be really creative with these cinnamon rolls. But these are just regular old school cinnamon rolls. Okay. Okay. Here they are after they're being iced. And they're ready to chow down. Don't that look good? Ooh. I can't wait to put my mouth on those. So if you like this recipe, be sure to thumbs up and comment me on it. And I would love to have new subscribers. And hit that bell so that you will be able to receive new recipes and notifications from the channel of The Real Kitchen for Real People. See how good that looks?